Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson and you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero, all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Close. We'll get closer. We'll learn all those notes and then hopefully a lot more. So let's get started at the very beginning here. Yes, this is going to be a fun lesson. I'm actually very excited about this. No one requested this one at all. This is just one that I was like, I want to do it. So here we are. We're going to start out on a C, and let's just jump into this thing right here. Yeah, if we start out on any group of 2 black notes and play the note just to the left of it, the white note right there, that's going to be a C every single time. So as long as you don't pick a group of 3 black notes, like those or those, you pick a group of 2, then that note is your starting note for this song. Group of 2, that note right there. Any of the C's work. You can start on any of the C's that you want to. I'm going to start on this one right here so you can see all the notes I'm playing. And it's important that you say the words out loud as you go. So you're going to say sun while you play the C. Sun. Try that. Go ahead. Sun. You got it? One more time. Sun. And we're already playing the song. Now, the next note is an A. That seems like a random place to go from a C. But if you just think through your alphabet, it should make sense that the note right before a C would be a B, and the note right before a B would be an A. Okay, or you can just skip down 2 notes. And if you skip down 2 notes, you'll land on an A every single time. Starting on a C, skipping down 2, you land on an A, because that's the way the alphabet works. Cool. And then we need an F, which sounds even more random than A, but the note right before A is G, because G is the last note in the musical alphabet. So we're going backwards to the alphabet. That makes it a little bit more confusing. But we have A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G. So everywhere on the piano that you have an A, there's a G right next to it. So those are G's, those are A's. G, A, G, A. So on piano and in music in general, not just piano, G's and A's are right next to each other. Cool. So then that would be a G and that would be an F. So the whole thing starts out with a C and then skip down and then skip down. So you don't even have to know the letter names if you don't want to. Just start out on a C and then skip down twice. And you've already played sunny day. Yes, you do have to say all the words out loud. You don't have to sing them. I would prefer you sung them. You don't have to sing them, but do at least say them. That way you won't get lost. So C, A, F is sunny day. And then we're gonna play the F again and follow it up with the 2 notes that are right next to it. Sweep in the F, G, A. Or just play the F again and then go up and then up. Okay, cool. So we have sunny day, sweep in the. And then we do the exact same thing again. That C, A, F that we played before, right here, are the same C and A and F that we're gonna use right here for clouds away. Clouds away. And actually, they're the same C, A, and F that we're going to use for On My Way. So with those 3 notes, we've actually learned 9 notes of the song. Sunny day, all we got to do is learn this part right here, sweep in the, and then clouds away, on my way. Now, if it feels right now like you need me to slow down, that's because you need a little bit more practice on that. That makes you a normal human being. I'm not going to go at normal human being pace. I'm going to go at teaching pace, so you can pause the video and then practice up whatever you need to. But I'm going to continue moving on. If you need to practice that stuff and you're live with us, then just keep on practicing that stuff and ignore all the stuff I'm about to say. But on my way, then we're going to go to where the air is sweet. Just straight up all of the notes. Except for one. There's one note in there that's got this weird little symbol right here, this little like half of a heart on a string. That's a flat symbol right there. So then that one means that when you get up to this note right here, we're not gonna play a regular B. We're gonna play the flat version of it. So it's a B flat. So we're playing that black note instead of that white note right there. So you're gonna go straight up from that F to where the air is sweet, but the word air is gonna be a black note, to where the air is sweet. And that strikes me as wrong. Ha! It's written wrong. Beautiful. Ignore all of that. That is what that flat sign means, but that flat sign is wrong. I'm gonna take that out for the archives. So if you're in the archives, then none of that made sense because there is no flat sign on there anymore. To where the air is sweet. There we go. Now we do need a flat sign on this next line, but so far we have sunny day, sweep in the clouds away, on my way to where the air is sweet. Sweet. All right. Cool. Let's try that much with the track so far, and then we'll learn the last notes. The track is pretty fast. The track is the speed of the original Sesame Street theme because the original Sesame Street theme is the only good Sesame Street theme. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we landed on a D. Now we actually do need this half of a heart on a string for this next line right here, because it's going to be an E flat once we get there. First, we have to play a C, which you already know because that's the first note that we played. So even if the rest of that didn't make sense, at least that one right there should make some sense. C, and then D, and then instead of an E, you already know what to do. Don't play that note. Play the slightly lower version of it. Can you tell? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then we go straight back down. This time we're going to skip over the B entirely. So you'll notice here that there's no B at all right there. So don't play B, but other than that, after you play the E flat, it's straight down to G minus the B. Tell me how, skip over the B, to get. All right, again, I'm not going normal human pace right now. I'm going faster than most people would learn this song. Unless you played a whole lot of songs before and you're not a beginner, then probably you need to practice a lot of this stuff. Even though this is a kid's song, there's no such thing. It's all notes. It's playing the right note at the right time, no matter what level you're at. So yeah, if you're playing notes at the right time, it's hard to do. So practice it up and go easy on yourself. Can you tell me how to get? And then right here, the last line, how to get. Finally, that B flat does come in right there. So, how to get to Ses. That's a G, A, B flat. They're all right next to each other, even though, again, the G and the A seem like they'd be a long way away because the letters are a long way away, except in music. So, how to get to Ses. And then this one right here, it says play a C, and most beginning students are going to be like, hey, I already know how to play a C. It's right there, except you should note that it says to go from G down to C. So how to get to Ses, and then we're not going to go up to C, but we're going to go down to this C that we haven't played in the entire song. Sesame Street. All those C's are all going to be low. So once again, starting back here with the track, eventually it'll sound like this. You can play along if you already know how to play the song, but if you're a beginner, just maybe listen or try to get the first couple notes. Maybe sunny day. Get ready on that C. I'll count to 4 and then we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? And then in the track, it just goes again. It goes 3 times. Yeah, so we'll get there. We'll play it more times. But I think for right now, actually, that's the whole entire beginning part, the beginner version of the lesson. So if you already have an assignment to work on, probably it's, if you haven't played any songs before, it's just learning what the note names are and getting used to that. Even if you can't play the song, if you're practicing it and you're paying attention to letter names, you're getting better at that. So that's cool. And then if you have been playing for a while, this track is probably faster than you're used to. So maybe playing along with the track, maybe that's your assignment. But pick one thing that's like, you can almost do it, but not quite yet. And that's the thing you need to work on. Whatever happens after that, whatever like big imagination you have about like what you should be playing or what a good pianist would be playing, forget all that. Just take the thing there's a little bit of a challenge for you, work on that thing. That's the right thing for you to practice. And let's go to the intermediate version of this lesson. So it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson. And of course, intermediate is a worthless term because we're all intermediate players. Everybody, you and I included, have people who are looking up to us, who are thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. And you and I both have people that we're looking up to, thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. So this is just the part of the lesson where you have permission, if you have found some little nugget of something that is difficult to do, but that makes sense, to take off and go practice it. Don't feel bad about that. Of course, if you want to stick around, you might pick up some extra stuff too, and we'd love to keep chatting with you. But I just want to let all of the new students know you're not supposed to try everything in every lesson. And I want to give everybody else a chance to go get something to drink and take a bathroom break. But it's time to get back to it. Let's go. All right, and now we're at the playground. This is where things get interesting. We've got lots and lots of options here. I'm going to take these letters away and pretend like we know what all of those letters are. Okay, so then we've got a lot of things to do here. Even though there's not actually a lot of chords to it, let me show you what the chords are first. First, it's going to be a C7. Now, on the next page, as always, you've got the chords listed. So you've got a C and an F and a G and a B flat. But you'll notice that all these ones up here have 7s on them. That's because we're going to add in a note that is called the 7. Let me show you how to figure that out. So I'm going to start here with this C chord. That's just a regular C. That's what's listed on the next page. However, if we want to throw in the 7 of this, just a C7, not a C major 7. This is a regular C7, also known as C dominant. C dominant and C7, same thing. C major 7, not the same thing. Okay, so then that's a C. To add in the 7, we're just going to add in the note that is 1 whole step or 2 half steps below the root of the chord. The root of the chord is C because it's a C chord. All right, so the note that is a 1 whole step below that would be not that, that's a half step, but 2 half steps would be a whole step. So a B flat would be the 7 of the C7 chord. So we could play it like that. It's a little bit muddy, but that could work, or you could put the B flat up there if you wanted. But of course you could play the whole thing up there if you wanted. Or you could mix up the notes and play them in different positions, or however you wanted to play that C7. C, E, G, and B flat together are gonna make the C7. Cool, so that's a C7 chord. And then we have a F7 chord, so that's your F. The note that is a whole step below the root being F, because it's an F chord, would be that E flat right there. So that's your F7. And then we just have one other chord because it just goes C7 to F7 to C7 to F7 to C7 to F7 to G7. That's the 7 right there. Now, this one is a white note. The other 2 were black notes because a whole step below the root of a G chord would be an F. So it's going to be an G, B, D, and an F. The F being wherever you want to put it. And then we just have one chord left after the F7 and the G7. We have this one right here, which is a B flat. This is not B flat, just the note, which you are playing. There we go. My tablet's a little bit behind. So we are playing the B flat note as the melody, but also the chord that we play in the left hand would just be a regular B flat. So B flat, D, and F. You could throw a 7 on if you wanted to, but honestly, I think it sounds better just as regular B flat. And same is gonna be true for that F chord. I think that F is gonna sound better as just an F without the 7 on it. And then at the end, we got that C7 chord. So if I just play only the chords, it would be sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. F7, C7, on my way to where the G7, air is sweet. Can you tell, it's gonna be an F7, me how to get G7, how to, and this is the crazy part, how to get to Sesame Street. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's gonna sound really great to have that B flat, F, C. You don't have to play the 7 on the C if you want to just play get to Ses. Or if you wanted to, you could go get to Ses, which is going to be way easier on the hand, but way more confusing in the brain because we took the B flat and we put the notes in a weird order there. D, F, B flat is the same thing as B flat, D, F, or B flat, D, F. That's a B flat chord. Get to, and this is an F in what we'd call the second inversion right here, but this is an F-A-C, but in a weird order, C-F-A, and then the regular C. So it'd go, get to Sesame Street. Along with the track, it would be something like this. Sesame, clouds away, on my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Yeah, one more time. C7 to F7, C7 to F7, C7 to F7. Air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Yeah, and this is probably the point at which I'm supposed to show you this thing right here. Okay, So this is like actually a pretty common like little lick thing. It's kind of like a bluesy lick. It's just going to be a regular C chord where the top two notes move up temporarily. I'm not going to point out that that is actually an F chord because we're not going to think of it as F chord. It's just going to be a C chord that we're like messing with a little bit, because then we're going to mess with those same two notes and take them up to these notes, which you might recognize from the C7 chord. They're the top parts of a C7 chord. So it's going from a C to something else that we're not going to recognize as an F, and then a C7 back to the whatever this thing is called, but definitely not an F, and then back to C. So just back and forth. Those guys right there. And then you can put the C wherever you want. If I was going to play it... Oh, on that last one, I'm playing that one, to that one, to that one. That's a little bit tricky, especially if you use that fingering where you're going 2 and the 4 finger to 3 and the 5 finger. That might take a little bit of practice right there, but that sounds a little bit more Sesame Street-ish than just straight up. But I don't know, they both sound like Sesame Street to me. And then what I was going to say at the beginning that I changed my mind on is that you could put the C up here. But whatever, I think actually I end up liking this one better. So then if we played that along with the melody, it would be something like, yeah, sure. And then we'd start with sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? All right, so that's like the technical stuff that I'm supposed to teach you. You got all the chords, you got all that stuff. I also want to do a little bit of theory before we get crazy with this thing, and then next lesson we're gonna, not this lesson, we're actually gonna reharmonize this whole thing, and I'm looking forward to that one too. But first, let's do the breakdown of the song, talk about the theory, what's going on here. So there's actually a lot going on here for a really simple song that doesn't have very many chords. So let me point out a couple of those things. One is that this thing is 12 bars long. It's got all 7 chords. And usually if you see 12 bars and it's all 7 or dominant chords, that's like almost 100% chance that it's a 12-bar blues. So I would definitely count this one as a blues. It's got all dominant chords. It's 12 bars. And the only problem is that it doesn't follow the 12-bar blues format. So the 12-bar blues format is supposed to be 1 to the 4 to the 1 to the 5 to the 1, essentially. So we got the 1 section up here, we got the 4 section down here, and we got the 5 section right here, and then back to the 1 right here. That's the way a regular blues would go, and that tablet is behind me, and that is a major pain in the rear. Okay, so this is what a regular 12-bar blues would look like, 1 to a 4 to a 5 to a 1. This one does not do that. This one goes from 1 to 4 to 1 to 4 to 1 to 4 to 1 to 4 to 1 to 4, and the 5 happens on that second line. So this doesn't really fit into the 12-bar blues category, even though it's a blues, I think, and it's definitely 12 bars, 12 measures, that is. Okay, so then that's the first thing, is it's like a 12-bar blues, but it's not a 12-bar blues. The other thing that's really weird for me on this one is that the melody at the very beginning outlines the 4 chord. So if we're in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, the 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, would be an F. So then the very beginning of it, sunny day. If I was just singing this, I was just hearing this song, ba, 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 da, ba, ba, ba. That sounds like it's a song in the key of F. Ba, 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 5, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 1, ba, 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 ba. But this is definitely a blues in C. It begins in C, it ends in C, and the whole vamp. So it seems like it should go sunny day in the key of C. Chase the clouds away. And I think if you play this thing right here and you try to sing along with it, you'll end up singing it wrong, because you'll end up singing it in the key of C. Sunny day. That sounds right. It's totally wrong. The beginning of the melody is sunny day, even though it's in the key of C. sunny day. So this has actually vexed me more than once when trying to transcribe this song for kids, because I hear a 5-3-1, I write it out as 5-3-1, then I remember, oh, that's right. This is the song where it starts on the 1 and outlines the chord, the 4 chord at the beginning. So that's weird about this song. A couple other things we would want to do for this one. Well, we've got this blues comping thing for sure. And this move right here is actually the important one in my mind. It's not so much this. That's the melody. That's the iconic part of the Sesame Street thing. But this thing right here, that as a pianist, that's going to be reusable in a lot of situations, because that's going to just be like a straight up blues comping thing that you do. So with the 1 and the 5 to the 1 and the 6 to the 1 and the flat 7, that thing right there, they just did that same exact move and doubled it all up. 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And then, sorry, checking out the chat. Other things we want to talk about here. Oh, well, so this is confusing because this was written in the key of F. If you're on Clopple Academy level 3 or higher, I think, 2 or higher, you're doing the key signatures over here. So this says it's in the key of F. That's a lie. That's not really in the key of F. It's really in the key of C, even though it's got a lot of B flats in it. And it's got it starts out with a melody pretending like it's in the key of F. That's probably also how we got this B flat that won't exist in the archives right there, is because when I wrote it out, the key signature was with a B flat in there. So got me even on this one. Oh, and then the last thing right here, this is my nice little, what I'm calling Jacob Collier ending. That is not me. Jacob Collier is amazing musician who likes to do reverse cycle moves at the end. So a cycle move has to do with the circle of fifths. If you don't know what that is, then that's cool. Just leave it that way, because it's a rabbit hole. But if you're already down in that rabbit hole, then you know that usually we go from like C to F to B flat to E flat to A flat to D flat to there we go. We usually go in that order. Well, Jacob Collier likes to end a lot of his songs going the reverse direction. So instead of going C to F to B flat, he would end up going B flat, F, C. B flat, F, C. So that's what's going on at the end there, is it's just a cycle move, but they're all going in the reverse direction. Instead of C to F to B flat, they're going F to B flat to C. That didn't make any sense. That's cool. If any of the rest of it made sense, that's super cool. So I think that's all the theory we're going to talk about, and now we're just going to get crazy. Let's try it. Hopefully something has made sense so far, because getting into the advanced portion of the lesson, I usually don't even know what's coming up next. So this is just the time where we answer any obscure question, we follow any crazy idea that comes up, and we find out how deep this rabbit hole goes. Good luck to us all. Okay, so then here we go. Let's start out doing a blues thing. I think I did some of that at the very beginning. And this is the blues scale right here, in case you haven't ever done that before. I won't be making all of the rest of these scales and stuff that obvious, but if you haven't played that blues scale before, actually let's just make it that right there. That's the main blues scale in C. The F sharp and the B are kind of additional, optional, transitional notes. Or just those ones right there. Okay. Also, some people call this a minor pentatonic scale, but that's mostly guitarists for reasons we don't want to get into. Okay, so that's going to be the blues scale that I use a lot. And I don't know, we'll see what comes out, and then I'll try to analyze any of it later, and then ask me any questions you want in the chat, or if you're in the archives afterwards in the survey. I do actually want to show you one other thing. Sorry, let's interrupt that. So on, they do that thing right there, and that's kind of important to this whole thing. So air is sweet. A lot of times the bass will move from the G up to the B and then repeat that. So on my way to where the air is sweet, can you tell me how to get? Okay, cool. So I'll probably be playing that a lot. It's just like a fake walk up because you expect it to go like it normally would. Walking up from the 5 of the key up to the 1 is how that would normally go, but in this case, it goes down to an F instead. All right, so we'll do a lot of that. What I have? Correct, I forgot. Okay. I'm gonna try to remember that for next week, because that's kind of in the reharm territory anyway. All right, so then let's go back. No, wait, hang on. Sunny day. What's that Beatles song? Oh, Here Comes the Sun. Yeah. Okay. That's the one. That'd be cool. All right, this is gonna sound terrible. I'm probably gonna chop this out of YouTube, but hang on, we gotta try this. Okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna play with that later on, if I can remember that. But fortunately, these are recorded. This is all happening online, and there are other people present. So I won't waste any more of your time here. But let's talk a little bit about what happened there. Okay, so this thing, I never made the. Thanks. Okay. So then, oh, thanks, Sarah. This thing right here, I never made the blues thing work, which seems weird because it is a blues, but maybe I was just bored with it or something. I don't know. So that thing right there, we tried that out, and then I also tried to improvise over it. The first time went great, I think, as far as the chords. It's supposed to go back and forth between C and F, and I think on one of those I lost my place and then just turned it into a 12-bar blues. So I just stayed on the C and then went to the F and stuff like that. But then I think I picked it up on. So you can play just a regular blues apparently, and then kind of get away with it as long as you end up with and then that thing. Okay, so then what it turned into, well, I'm gonna spend a little more time with that mashup thing, perhaps, or at least when I come back to it next week when we harmonize. Trying to combine that with that other Sunny song, whatever that's called. What happened in there? Well, I think the way it started was I was doing that reverse thing. I was going to B flat, F, C, and then I wanted to take it one step farther, so we went to E flat, B flat, F, C, because that's the next reverse cycle move. And then went one more farther than that. A flat to E flat to B flat to C to F. And either on purpose or accidentally, I'm not sure, they came out major, which is then what gave me that feeling of like that uplifting thing, which made me turn that one into a Lydian scale, like a C scale with an F sharp in it, or kind of like a G major scale with a C in the bass. Kind of two different ways to look at it. All right, yeah, so I think I've alienated everybody in this lesson now at this point, but I'm having fun. So I had that Lydian thing, and so then I want to continue on that Lydian thing, that sharp 4, which is essentially just taking any major chord and putting the major chord that's a whole step higher than that on top of it. So if you just take a C chord and then you throw it on top of that a D major chord, then you're gonna end up with the Lydian sound. So then I decided to use that on the other chord that we use, which is the F chord, which you already know. So the F to whatever the whole step above F would be G. So F to a G to an F to a G to an F to a G. So that's the Lydian sound on the F. And so then I use the major on the C with the Lydian at the end. And then the F to G on the F chord. So that's kind of where I came up with that sound. And then we had the reverse cycle stuff. I don't know what else I did in there. Oh, I tried to quote "Here Comes the Sun" in there, and I think that's it. Oh, I used the A flat major scale to the B flat major scale to C a few times in there, as opposed to going A flat to E flat to B flat to F to C, because I also wanted to use, which didn't really fit as well as I thought it was going to. So I might need to do some work on that one. So I kind of like wanted to mix all those endings together, so they all kind of have the like king. So then one was the A flat to the B flat to the C, and the other one was A flat to E flat to B flat to C, and then the other one was, and that's the part that messes me up on the rhythm for that one. I guess that's the same rhythm, isn't it? It feels weird to me having that G in there. Maybe it sounds, I don't know. I'll go back and listen to it. Maybe it sounds more normal than I think. Yeah, that's where I want to put it. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. Or maybe we'll forget all of this and do something entirely different next time for the reharm. But next week is going to take this weirdness and then multiply that. So if you enjoyed that stuff, then next week is going to be your jam. And if that all seemed pointless because it doesn't sound like the right version of Sesame Street, then yeah, next week won't be your jam. But hopefully the next song after that will be or something. Let me know what you're wanting to do. If you have any questions, complaints, suggestions, recommendations, concerns, requests, send them along. Otherwise, if you have something to work on that makes sense in your head, but your hands won't do quite yet, that's what we all need to work on. So till next time, go explore, mess up, have fun. Rock on, friends. See you next time.